dust-free active product. I am so excited and happy to talk about this device because it will help clean the air inside of your home with all three of those categories in mind that we just talked about. And a really important part of the conversation is when you're looking at different devices on the market, what are they actually doing? Well, there's two categories you can classify them into, and that's passive and active. And I love the fact that Dust Free came up with the name for this product as being active because it's plain and simple. It's going to proactively go out and treat the air and surfaces. I always want to give you an analogy when you're trying to explain what a passive device is. It's like an air filter, okay? You have to wait for the air to come to that device in order to treat the air. Think of a bug zapper. This is a really easy analogy to use. A bug zapper in your yard isn't going to kill all the bugs in your yard. It's only the bugs that fly to it and actually get zapped. So think of passive devices like that. Active devices, on the other hand, as I just said, proactively go out and treat not only the air we're breathing, but surfaces as well. You guys may or may not know this, but the common cold virus can live on a surface for about 7 days. So think of all the door handles, the computer keyboards, and remote controls that are being touched. Literally, if someone has a cold, potentially that virus could stick around for about 7 days. And by the way, the flu virus sticks around for about 24 hours too. And that's why I always love showing this picture here of the home. But we're going to proactively treat the air and surfaces with the dust-free active device. So I love showing this picture too because it always reminds me in explaining this and kind of taking the rocket science out of it. When you're explaining the technology to folks, basically we're going to proactively distribute friendly oxidizers out into the space. So we're killing pollutants, odors, and organisms at the source, so in the air and on surface. And the picture is great because it's the same way we're recreating what Mother Nature does outside. I always like to point at a window or maybe sunlight coming in from somewhere, and I say, the sun is the UV source shining on the metals and the water in the Earth's atmosphere, and Mother Nature has a natural way of cleaning the air. I always think of thunderstorms, the old saying, you can sense when the rain is coming. Well, that's basically the same thing here. Mother Nature's creating fresh air, and the dust-free active is doing the same thing naturally, okay? So we're creating friendly oxidizers to go out and take care of those pollutants in the air the same way that Mother Nature does. There will be, as we discuss here shortly, there's a UV lamp inside the device that shines on a catalyst on the metals in there, combined with the ambient moisture in the air, will create these friendly oxidizers to go out and take care and create fresh air. Okay, so there's two technologies we're going to talk about in the device, and primarily the oxidant that we're using is hydroperoxides. It's going to treat all three levels of contaminants. So remember, it's your germs, your odors, and your particulates. So again, ionization, if you're not familiar with it, if you're standing near an ocean shore or a water source or been through an electrical storm, the ionization is the same kind of technology here that's in this device. We're actually going to proactively send out some ions and cause particulate in the air to come out of the air and help your air filter work better. So here's really what we're talking about. We're going to dramatically reduce the overall allergens, odors, bacteria, airborne biologicals, smokes, viruses, VOCs, pet odors, and dust within the space. Okay, just some quick features here. There's dual technology air purification. It's both the friendly oxidation and the bipolar ionization that's going on in here. We'll get to that in a minute. But basically, you have an auxiliary 24-volt power port in here. I'll show you that in a minute. Expanded power range. There's an LED light on the front of this thing to show you that there's power coming into it. There's a dual frequency UV lamp we're going to talk about. Super simple installation. We're going to utilize a mounting plate that you can use as a template as well. Ease of maintenance we'll go over. There's some safety features. It's really just a beefy, high-quality design that comes with a 7-year warranty. So here's the first half of the technology that we want to talk about. It's photoionic oxidation. And this is really, again, using the analogy about what Mother Nature does outside. This is where this UV source, there's a lamp inside of here shining on this catalyst. You'll see the catalyst here in the lower left-hand picture. When that lamp shines on this catalyst, we're going to recreate what Mother Nature does outside, friendly oxidizers, the primary one being aerosolized hydrogen peroxide, okay? So it's a quad metallic core, meaning there's 4 metals in this core. And I want you to remember when you're comparing to other devices on the market, we have 8 times the photocatalyst surface area than other designs. It's basically an aluminum substrate, and the dual frequency lamp we're going to talk about in here will actually produce less ozone than other devices. Now, ozone is a conversation you can have. Basically, any device that's electrical, consumes electricity, like a copy machine, a photocopier, will actually off-gas some ozone. The point here is we're not using ozone as a primary oxidizer for all those germs. It's actually just an inherent byproduct of the overall process. By using this dual frequency lamp, we're actually going to produce less ozone, if you will, versus just a standard UV lamp. The second half of the technology, okay, is the ionization technology. And here, Dust Free is utilizing fiber brushes. There's 10 sets of brushes, 5 times the output of the nearest competitor. Basically, what we're talking about here, guys, is 2 million ion output capability. It's just it's exponentially higher than the next guy on the market. So what this does is basically it sends off a little charge, utilizing the air distribution system, and all those particles that you cannot see that we're breathing right now are basically light enough to float in the air. And what we want to do is, by giving them a charge, we're going to cause those small particles to start clinging together. When they cling together, they become heavier and they precipitate out of the air. Some of them is going to go towards the air filter and help your air filter work better, and some of them are going to precipitate out onto some surfaces. So you'll have to do a little dusting, which we'll come back to here in a minute. So again, this is the second half of the technology, being a dual technology device, is the bipolar ionization part. I put a little picture in here of a close-up of this power port. So if you're going to use the dust-free active in conjunction with a UV light, a germicidal UV lamp in your air conditioning coil or air handler coil, you could do that. We give you a power source for it. Basically, it's 2 wires, 24 volts. You'll utilize the 24 volt power that's readily available there at the active device. Warranty: 7-year warranty on the power supply, 4-year warranty on the cell, which is really important. So you want to recommend a cell replacement in 4 years, which versus the competition, you may notice it's always 2 years with a lot of competitors. So we can get 4 years out of our cell or our catalyst and 2 years on the UV lamp. So basically, you might want to replace a UV lamp in about 2 years time, and then in about 4 years time, you're going to redo the lamp and the cell. So really, once you get this thing powered up, you are honestly going to sense a cleaner, fresher air in the house. It's a noticeable, tangible difference. It will change the air in your home. I love talking to people that install these and see how they see what they think later on when I do see them. It's just an exciting story to tell. So what to expect is a conversation to have with your customers so they can have it with the homeowners. What to expect in the very beginning. Because of bipolar ionization, you're actually taking the sub-micron particulates out of the air. And again, this is the pollens and dust and dander that allergy sufferers are allergic to. We're removing those out of the air. And like I said before, some of those are going to go to the air filter and some of them are going to precipitate out on the surfaces. So this is what we want the homeowner to know. Basically, within 24 to 48 hours of using and powering the device, they might have to dust a time or two in the house. But again, what I always say is you're no longer breathing this. It's actually precipitated out on the surface.